Hello everybody, welcome to my Q&A videos that I do every single Monday. I want to welcome new subscribers. This channel is still growing well. Thank you for subscribing. What this is a question and answer video that I'm doing every single Monday. I'm answering people's questions from the last Q&A video last Monday. So if you guys have any questions, please ask me anything you would like and I'll answer them. Just go down in the comment section, type your question, I'll answer them next Monday in the next Q&A video. Something I like to do every week is recommend something, whether it's a person, an author, his book, maybe someone else's channel, and a lot of other things that you can be taking to help things like stress and trauma, CPTSD. One thing I like to get people to do is if they have CPTSD, if they've been suffering from narcissistic abuse for a long time or repeated relationships, neglect all the way stemming from their childhood and things like this, I try to get people to reset their brain, to really reset it. And that's why I try to get people to meditate, listen to beats that helps reset their heartbeat, or maybe the meditation control their breathing and reset. And really what I would like to do is get people to reset their sympathetic nervous system. And one way that we can do this, and it's something I've gotten people to do for quite a while now, and it helped me, and I did a little research on it, and I know that this works. And so I want to share this with you as a recommendation this week. And I'm dead serious about this, and I want people to try this. And that's taking cold showers. May not seem like much, but it really does a lot. I actually wrote down some things that it actually does. So it does help reset your sympathetic nervous system. And that's something that I would like to do when we have a bunch of behaviors we want to change, and the way that we think we want to change, and everything just from better attitude about recovery and the world, people, stuff like this. So taking cold showers can help you fight depression and anxiety and stress. Little known fact. It increases energy levels, alertness, overall mood. It helps with healthier skin and hair. It helps with sore muscles. That's why athletes take cold ice baths. It helps you lose fat in a healthy way by helping brown fat kill white fat, if you guys know what that is. And all in all, it leaves a smaller footprint on the world, right? Just cold showers over such hot showers and wasting such electricity and energy. But back to what it really does, and it's just really resetting your nervous system, specifically your sympathetic. And I want people to not just keep falling back into their old behaviors and do things the way that they always have and feel the way that they always have. I want things to change, and I want your environment to change. I want you to make new choices so you aren't in the same places anymore. This is about changing everything from who we are, how we think, how our body performs and reacts day to day. So cold showers, guys, okay? And these are some of the things that we talk about doing the work. And, you know, there's always some things people don't want to do, but it can't be most of the things you don't want to do. You know, try these. Try this. It really helps, okay? So that's my recommendation, cold showers. So let's get started with the questions. First question is from Maya in Stockholm, Sweden. Hello. And you ask, a narcissist can't read the room. Is it because they're so full of themselves, above everyone else, that nobody else matters? And so, you know, it's known that narcissists, not all, but narcissists have been known to have problems reading people's affect. And similar to people that have other problems like this. And it's social problems. A lot of narcissists have been neglected. A lot of narcissists haven't had the correct communication with their parents, inappropriate upbringing, really missing out on exchange conversation, serve and return, things like this. And so they have problems reading people's affect. They may not have been given that responsibility to care what anybody thinks or what anybody's trying to say or, you know, get their point across when they were growing up. Most narcissist parents never held the narcissist accountable or responsible for anything, you know. So you don't have to listen to other people and respect what they say or how they feel, right? There's so many different things that go into this, but really, if a person with a personality disorder lacks awareness, so that goes across the board with everything. They lack awareness, and a lot of times in how other people feel. Right? What is lacking empathy? That's just lacking awareness of how other people feel. Right? I hope that makes sense. But yeah, I mean, that would help too. I mean, they're known for if they're so full of themselves and believe they're above everybody else, that would be make them harder to read the room, right? They overestimate themselves and underestimate other people, big time. Thank you. So next question is from Irene. And I'll ask you guys, if you ask me a question, please tell me where you're from. We just like to know. There's a lot of people out there that feel alone, feel like it's only them, or they think it's only their state, their city, or their country that has problems like this. But it's worldwide, everywhere. So please tell us your location. It helps people feel connected a little bit. So Irene asks, I don't really understand how you cannot be responsible for others' emotions if we care. For others, or I'm sorry, let me read that right. I don't really understand how you cannot be responsible for others' emotions if we care for others. Surely you say sorry or love others and you do things together to make them happy, not just yourself. So I know what you're saying, but I want it to be clear for people, especially victims of this stuff, that you're not responsible for others' emotions. And I want you to be very clear, very aware that you are responsible for your emotions. That means that you should do something about how you feel, and that other people aren't responsible, and don't wait for them, and don't try to make them or manipulate them to do things for your emotions and how you feel. Okay? So if we care for others, surely you say sorry. That's polite. Yes. And if you do things together to make them happy, not just yourself. There are things you can do. You can make people happy. You can make people upset. Sure. But it's not your responsibility to take care of other people's emotions. So when somebody feels really bad, it's not your responsibility to help them take care of that. Now, I understand when you hurt somebody's feelings, you should try to make them feel better. I believe that. But it's not your responsibility to do so. Because then their feelings are left in your hands. I know it can get confusing, but keep going with that until it makes perfect sense to you. If somebody hurts my feelings, it's my responsibility to fix that. Meaning I can give that person an opportunity if I'd like and say, you hurt my feelings. They could apologize and reassure me they won't do it again. But I got to make sure I feel better somehow. Meaning I can't wait around for them to fix it. What if they don't want to fix it? Then what? I still got to make myself feel better. I can't allow myself to feel bad. I hope that makes sense, Irene. Please ask me more questions. If you have more questions about that. If what I'm saying doesn't make sense. Or if you don't agree, tell me why. So Tracy asks, and I shortened Tracy's question. Some people's questions are really long, and I understand. Don't worry, I do read them. But as far as reading them to other people, I shorten them a little bit. So if I get them wrong, tell me and ask me again. So Tracy asks, several times. So Tracy believes that, okay, so I remember this. Tracy told me a story where she believes several times her ex poisoned her, drugged her, and she felt bad afterwards, and she felt like there was some other drinks poisoned before, and she tastes the bitterness and believes that she was poisoned, and she doesn't tell anybody, but she talks to a therapist about this, and she just wanted to know if I've ever heard this. And yes, I have. I've heard this a lot in a lot of different ways, in a lot of different scenarios. I've heard of people, women being drugged and taken for months, being drugged, force-fed drugs, and being drugged up to do all kinds of bad things. I've known victims who have been forced drugs as a suppository in their anus, and to get them high so that they could be raped easily. I've heard of, after I told my story, I've had people tell me they believe my ex poisoned me. I've heard of all kinds of stories of being poisoned. I've heard of people have told me that for months and months after they broke up with their ex, that they believed that their ex broke into their house all the time while they were gone. And they believe they poisoned their food and different things that they were in there. And they had to throw away. They couldn't keep any stuff in their house it was crazy. You know, and this stuff, it's too bad because this stuff will make you start feeling like you're going crazy. They may not even be doing it and you might think that they are. And it doesn't mean you're going crazy. It's about living with someone that you didn't trust for so long, that was at least trying to kill you emotionally. I'm sorry for your experience. I hope the therapy is working. Susie Q from the United Kingdom. Hello, Susie Q. Asks, I was forced to go no contact with my toxic sister after she devalued me for refusing to validate her false narrative and for her really abhorrent behavior. I didn't get the smear campaign. She refuses to talk about me, and you refuse to talk about her, which is good. She has done the same thing with her daughters and friends, and they all return with zero accountability. Do you think she is practicing damage control, so I return to her? So, you know, obviously I wouldn't know. I really wouldn't know, Susie. I'm sorry. So why is she not smearing you? She tends to stop at the smear campaign, not smear people, and refuse to talk about them until they come back into her life. And then it's just this cycle that constantly keeps repeating itself, yeah? Why does this happen? Well, if she has a personality disorder, realize that she's not emotionally stable. She's very impulsive. So behaviors cause shame, right? And she's not aware it's her. How about this? Either what she does to her friends and her family and you and stuff causes her shame and she feels ashamed of herself. So she doesn't contact anybody. She doesn't reach out to anybody. She acts like it didn't happen, wait for you to come back. Or she's not even aware that it's her fault, that she's the one with the problem, and she's highly, highly angry and gets all stubborn and waits for you guys to come back. It's too hard for me to know exactly what's going on in a situation like that. But I hope, you know, I tell people all the time with personality disorder people, and when you're trying to understand them, to also understand emotional instability and impulsivity, because most people with personality disorder, specifically narcissism, can tend to be pretty unstable emotionally. They don't process their emotions very well at all. And it makes them impulsive. Hope that makes sense. Please ask me more specific questions if you have any. But yeah, I mean, it's good that you see that cycle, right? That pattern happen over and over and over again. And the biggest problem, or the biggest reason anybody has these cycles, right, is just that whole lack of awareness, not realizing you're doing it, not realizing it's you or what the real problem is, so we keep doing it. Yeah? That's really what it always comes down to. I'm really glad that you saw this pattern and you stopped it. So, you know, if anything, always tell this, or if you do ever talk to this person again, don't hide, don't beat around the bush, be honest, be straight up with them and tell them what they do that hurts you and you don't like. And you'll see what they do. Good luck. TK from Pennsylvania asks, do borderlines come back after a breakup and why? Is it dangerous to take them back? Well, I don't speak for any entire group of people. Do people with borderline personality disorder tend to come back after breakups? Yes. They tend to, a major trait of borderline personality disorder is idealize and devalue. Break up and come back. Anybody stated a borderline, man, it's on and off, hot and cold, up and down. They have so many emotions in their life. They're so unstable. They're so impulsive. They make choices this fast in where they live, in their job, in their relationships, big time. And they idealize and devalue everything. Not just people, objects, restaurants, businesses, cars, and people. Everybody. They're so amazing. I hate them so much. I love you so much. I never want to see you again. Great book is what? I hate you, don't leave me. Is it dangerous to take them back? Well, I mean, what if I said, no, it's not dangerous, it's okay? Take them back? That kind of doesn't leave me with much, right, to answer that one. Is it dangerous? I believe dating people with personality disorders is emotionally dangerous, and it can be physically dangerous, but that's specific on people, not personality disorders. Personality disorders aren't dangerous. People are dangerous. Yeah? Right? Personality disorders are terms, words. So is it dangerous? I get this question a lot from people about their ex. And I got to say, when you're traumatized and beaten or any kind of abuse, we tend to make them bigger than they are. We tend to be more afraid of them than we need to be after it's over. We lie and lie and lie while we're with them and ignore all these things. But then when it's over, we start to see and we start to go, oh my God, I was in a dangerous place. Like, yeah, you were. Yeah. And we tend to make them bigger than they are. And we tend to be more scared of them than we may need to be. And so I ask specifically, women get really scared about their husbands of 15 years returning and hurting them. And I ask them, well, have you ever seen them hurt anyone physically in their life? They're like, no. Then why are we scared? Have they ever threatened you or said they're going to? No. Well, then should we be right now? Probably not. Probably doesn't serve you to be that scared. And there's just things that we can do. But you're asking me, is it dangerous to take them back? Yeah. I mean, you're only asking me that because they are dangerous or have been dangerous, I mean, I doubt they're any more dangerous than they were, right? I hope that makes sense. It's about healthy choices. It's about making good, healthy choices for yourself. That's not a healthy choice. Why take them back? You ask me, is it dangerous? I think you're really asking me, is it okay? Get some support. Nessa from United Kingdom. Hello, Nessa. When a narcissist steals, do they actually feel entitled to do so, or do they know it's wrong? I'm baffled by lack of morals. Good question. Of course they know it's wrong. And we've got laws, and we've got societal norms. Right? Not everything that we shouldn't do in society is illegal. But they're not idiots, and they know that we don't do that most people don't do it. They know that it's illegal and stuff like this to steal. You said lack of morals. That was perfect. So what happens? We need a stable sense of self. What is that? That's my values and morals. And they better show in my choices. If I think stealing is wrong, but my friends steal, that'll make me less stable because I'm moving my morals around. If a narcissist steals, it's either not a moral of theirs, not a value. They think stealing's not bad, but they know that society thinks it's bad. So they may think it's not bad. It's okay to steal. Who cares? Okay? But then they're still lacking morals. Do you see that? They're still lacking them. And you don't have to, it'd be the same thing as if I say, yes, stealing is wrong, but then I steal. Okay? So if I steal, I feel like I'm going against myself. I feel like I'm doing something wrong. I feel guilty. I feel ashamed. And I feel less stable. Or I could just say, no, I don't have any morals or no values. I don't care about stealing. and screw it. Just live my life without values and morals, and I'll feel less stable. I hope that makes sense. But yeah, if I steal and I feel like I had to move my morals around, I'm more likely to do that again. Because I feel less stable, less sense of self. I don't really live by my morals and values, so therefore I will steal again, probably. Right now, you guys have just come out of abusive relationship. You have lots of, you may have morals and values, but the problem is a lot of your morals and values are things like honesty, loyalty, treating people with respect, right? But here you had somebody disrespect you. You had somebody abuse you. You had somebody lie to you, right? So that now you moved your morals. You accepted it. And so we feel less stable. You may even have lied back to them. Ooh. Now we feel really unstable. You may have even cheated on them. Ooh, more unstable. You see what I mean? So my clients, I try to get them more stable. So we get rid of stressors in their lives. And I start helping them make good choices and stop making so many bad mistakes and not going against who they are. So then we find out who they are, and then we start making choices based on who we are, and then we start feeling more stable. Hope that makes sense. I know it can get confusing, but keep learning, because this is life. This is what matters. This is what matters. Trust me. Where we are on time. Let's do one more. Joanna from London. Hello, Joanna. I know he will never acknowledge my pain or his wrongdoing, but how do I come to terms never receiving that aspect of closure? So, you acknowledge your pain. You acknowledge his wrongdoing. And you come to terms with never receiving that from him. You said how? Talking, processing emotion. You have all these things that hurt you, and then now he's gone and he won't listen to you, so you can feel better about it, right? Because usually when someone hurts you, you talk to them and it helps you feel better. They apologize and help you understand they were just in a bad place. It's not really you that they hate so much. So we're going to have to do this on our own, right? So just talk about these things, Joanna. Don't keep them inside. Find somebody to talk to about these things. And friends and family aren't always the best, because there's a limit to where it goes. It can't just go forever. You can't have this, hour conversation every time you talk, once, twice a week, like you do with a therapist or some professional. You pay a professional, they listen, they ask questions, they tell you what's going on. They aren't afraid to hurt your feelings and stuff. They aren't worried about, anything else except you for that hour. And they really help you know what's going on. The thing about closure is it's understanding. I can just discard you and not tell you anything, and then you don't understand and you think you're a bad person. So I tell you, hey, Joanna, I just really didn't like your hair, so I broke up with you. I'm just, I want it over. And then now well, I can deal with the hair. Bad, he doesn't like my hair. Okay, I can deal with that. He didn't say I'm the worst person in the world. Do you see that? And then, but it's more conversation, more details of why they want it over, and it helps you feel better. It helps you understand. So you need to understand, and you talk to somebody else so they can help you understand what was going on. That's what I do with people. I help them understand what the ex was doing to them and why, and what the ex was feeling the whole time. And then they really get it, that, oh my gosh, my ex really has some problems, and it's not just me. Because if you don't understand, you believe it's you. And I'll tell you, I'll leave part one with a story that I've told people before, but this will help you understand the difference between shame and guilt, and why we need to understand what emotional healing is. So a 10-year-old boy is up in his bedroom, Okay? And his dad comes home, walks into the bedroom and spanks the boy and walks out. Doesn't say a word. Say the dad comes in and keeps doing this every day. Okay? Doesn't need to, but just say it does to make it extreme. What happens is that boy doesn't know why he's being spanked, and all he can assume is I'm the worst person in the world. And it'll damage him. He'll feel that way, like a bad kid forever, until he processes it and learns the truth. Because here's the truth. Say the dad's father came in instead, spanked the boy, said, this is for crossing the busy street outside that we told you not to cross. And so you need a punishment. And the punishment is spanking. Here's your spanking. Please never cross that street again because I don't want to spank you anymore. Now go out and play. Now the child understands what he did was a bad thing. He did something bad. That's guilt. And you can, time heals it. Apologizing, doing your punishment, all that stuff is just, now I just did something bad. I'm not a bad person. Shame is I'm a bad person. I don't understand. My dad just came in and spanked me. I don't get it. My boyfriend just broke up with me. Didn't tell me why. Do you see that? That's why you need closure. Just to understand. Understand why your boyfriend broke up with you. The answer is not you're the worst person in the world. It's not that. When you start understanding that you're still a good person, that your boyfriend had problems inside, internally, that he can't fix, and he can't have relationships with people, and it's always going to end. And it's always going to end pretty badly. And that's why. And start understanding his disorder, start understanding him, where he came from, why he thinks the way he does. Okay? That's simple. And you can write these things down, you can make videos and talk about it, but it's always better to bounce this kinds of stuff off of other people. I'm going to end part 1 here, and part 2 will be starting in a few minutes. Thank you all. Love yourself first. I'll see you in part 2.